Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day 4 of Finding Your Authentic Self, a presentation by Malcolm Nair. We are live streaming to an international audience tonight on YouTube. So we're going to ask that you mute your microphones on your devices so that the background noise doesn't become a distraction to other participants of tonight's live stream. We also ask you to go ahead and grab your notebooks and journals to write down any specific points that Malcolm might be mentioning in tonight's presentation. Remember to be early so that you can maintain your spot. Feel free to ask questions. We encourage you to do so and continue to expand your experience and appreciate your life. As always, it is my extreme pleasure to introduce to you Malcolm Nair.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Thank you for joining. And I appreciate knowing that this is going out to the world. Massive crowd out there. This is live streaming on YouTube. And also, I will be putting this across social medias as well. So, this message is for everybody. This is very important for us to understand the strategy behind getting your life to a better place. The way I put this together really helped me fundamentally change my life completely. It helped me quantify the experience I've been living my entire life. It's like the 20 years I've been living has changed in such a short period of time. We all want to break the cycles, right? We will all want to be able to learn how to shift our lives around, change for the better. So that's how I put this together. Today we're going to be breaking down and understanding how this ties together and why it flows the way it flows. If a day is missed, if you feel an exercise is what you need to change, it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. There's a method to the coaching and the guidance. So that being said, I just want to remind everybody what we should do the first thing in the morning before we prepare for the day, okay? We must wake up with abundance, right? We must appreciate the time we have with ourselves, and we must understand that we are spiritual divine beings. We should not be distracting ourselves. We should be listening to affirmations. We should be listening to binaural beats, motivational videos, and just commanding and demanding of ourselves and compelling ourselves for more. Now, commanding for love, abundance, and acceptance. The first day is just the end of a new beginning. And the second day is also the end of another new beginning, right? So what I wanted to explain to you guys, sorry about that, is everybody wants to understand, what's tangible here. What can I take away from this? So today, this is what you can take away, okay? So I need you guys to write this down. This is tying everything together. And I think, I'm just going to mention, Naz, your volume is too loud. I can hear your background. Can you please put the volume down? Thank you. All right, so what's tangible is actions, okay? Actions are required to attain and retain the discipline and consistency. What does that mean? Every day we have to continue these patterns, creating new habitual rituals. And these actions that we take before bed, as we sleep, directing ourselves, when we wake up in the morning, as we're consciously aware, and then when we differentiate our emotional thoughts from our energy, from our awareness. And we understand that it's two different things. Our energy and our awareness is not supposed to be our emotions. We have to understand that it's separate. Okay? When we attain that and we start to do it on a consistent basis, we start to retain the discipline. Okay? And we start to become consistent. Every day, it's just a reminder. Bless yourselves, love yourselves, do the morning routine, do the mirror talk. Don't forget to do your mirror talk. This is for you guys. Once this is gone, it's taken away. So you guys who are joining this live stream, you guys who are on this Zoom, are getting something special, because these little missing links is what it takes to start. This is just the beginning. Start to transform, just to start. All right, so write down your goals. Write down your affirmations. Write down your visions. Write out your world manifestos. What are your vivid visions in life? What do you want to see changed in the world? How do you want to see yourself in this world? In order to see change in the world, you have to see yourself changing first. Be the change that you want to see in the world. Be the change you want to see in the world. If you want to stop the drama and the gossip and the news and all that toxic stuff, start changing first. Then you'll start to see the change in the world, because you attract like things. The more you start attracting new behaviors and new patterns, those types of people will just come around you, be around you. People will start treating you better. You can start treating people better, and it's going to reciprocate. That's how change happens, not by expectations. Oh, man, I wish people were nicer, or the world needs to change, and why are people so rude? Let's not cast judgment, right? Let's just keep changing ourselves. Now, manifestos, vivid visions, we have to have such a vivid vision of where we see ourselves in this world. Where do you see yourself in this world? I want to ask yourselves, what do you see changing in the world? Do you see world peace, more abundance, cleaner lakes and oceans? Keep seeing these visions. It's like when I was a kid, I remember I would always think of a movie that is going to come out in the future, and I'd be like, this has to come out something. And then as I got older, that movie would come out, something along the lines of it. Like, for example, Avatar, came out. We think of all these, like we want movies to come out. We think of such futuristic things, and then it comes out in a movie form, right? We can create, if you have a vision, jump on it, because someone else is going to create it, but you can be the first. Okay, these are just little tidbits, little snack bites. Okay, and when you write down your goals and start doing this, it starts to affirm and reprogram your subconscious mind. These are the baby steps. That's it. So this is just a reiteration of day one. These are the baby steps, and this is what is going into your subconscious mind. It's going to start creating these realities. Now, creating realities is like what we think comes true. So if you are living in a cycle of toxicity, negativity, living in a burden mindset, regret, we're creating more of that manifestation, and we're living that reality. If you start thinking a new reality and start quantifying a new experience in your life, you can jump into a new reality, right? That's multiverse theory, right? Like, there's this theory out in the world, right? They talk about multiverse, right? You can actually jump into these realities. Some people become something, right? I'll go deeper into this another time for the right moment and the right time. But start doing this for yourself, guys. Okay. So the morning habits, again, follow through. Be mindful as you eat your food, as you look at yourself in the mirror, as you brush your teeth. We remember doing the mirror talk, right? So we have to be aware of our consciousness, of what we truly are, who we really are. Listening to the binary beats as we prepare for the day, waking up consciously and knowing how we want to set foot and in the day, how we want to start the day with our emotions and stuff. Explain. So um, the first emotions in your mind become thoughts patterns, right? So if you wake up with positive emotions in the morning, these start to create thoughts and feelings, then they become the results from your experiences and the actions you take in life. So the reason why we want to let go of our emotions is because it's going to carry out and it's going to become subconscious. So in order to reprogram our subconscious mind, we have to be mindful of our thoughts, start to think of our conscious thoughts, and differentiate the difference between our emotional mind and our spiritual awareness. And there's a difference. Being aware that you are the awareness, you can think of your conscious thoughts, right? So we have to figure out that fine line. When we get emotional, we have to separate the awareness and think about, hey, that's not me. I'm not the emotion. Right? So I'm just trying to help you guys slowly understand and think of your emotions, think of your feelings, and think of how these results become actions and reactions in life. So make it a must to emotionally regulate in the morning. Okay? Kyle, I want to ask you if there's anything there that you want to add, or would you like to dive deeper into anything?
Yeah, I'd kind of like to go into, into the manifesto. So
Okay.
when, can you give me an idea of, you know, can you give me a better idea of what I need to do for the manifesto, or how? I guess this is the part that I'm struggling with, Malcolm. Is when I think of a manifesto, you were talking about, clean environment and clean water, but sometimes I'm stuck in the house. And so, how do I create a manifesto for the day?
What do you mean when you're stuck in the house in a clean house
Well,
and
yeah, I don't mean like a. It means when I'm trying to in the mornings when I'm trying to visualize and set a manifesto for how I would like the day to manifest itself out.
Mhm.
Can you delve a little deeper into how I do that or what I should be doing when I'm doing that? Is there limitations, I guess, is what I'm asking. I'm not sure, you know, when am I creating a manifesto for an example that might be just a little too verbose or a little, is there such a thing as a verbose manifesto? I guess I'm struggling with trying to understand what a manifesto is.
Right. I'm getting you an example from mine. I'll give you a really good example. Just give me a minute here. When you start writing down your manifesto, your vivid vision, this is how it started for me. It started with realizing my epiphany moment in life. What's your guys' epiphany moment? When was that first time you realized or are starting to contemplate and realize now that you need to make a change or you need to compel yourself for more? See, for me, it was working for commission. I had no control over my time, money, or freedom. I felt tied into supporting my family, myself, and getting ahead, feeling unsatisfied, uncomfortable, and getting sick and tired of being sick and tired. I decided to quit and seek out passion for myself and not another person who doesn't have my best interest. This was my epiphany moment when I realized I could be doing something for myself, for myself. Luckily enough, when I decided to leave the hustle and the grind for someone else's quota and targets, I had a good talk with my partner and said, "Babe, I'm done. I can't do this. I'm sorry." She said, "I support you. It's okay. It'll be hard, but we can do this." Not to mention, she was 8 months pregnant with our second child. I was the sole provider when I decided to quit. We ended up completely broke. Because in this rat race we were living paycheck to paycheck. Even though, this is not here, but even though I was making nearly $6,000 to $10,000, around there, between $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 a month. I know what it's like to work in the rat race and work the 9 to 5, make the commission checks and come home, but chasing that life, chasing that money, chasing the grind and living life like the way I used to, it still felt like it wasn't enough. There was still stress and arguments and fights and headaches and nonsense and, oh, we need to pay this and I'm in debt and this. It was like nothing was happening. Nothing was changing. Okay? So we completely altered our paradigm from this day forward. We even quit getting support from the government as well as food hampers due to the scientifically engineered and processed foods that were given. We were so blessed, of course, for receiving support that when we stopped, we decided to donate clothes, jackets, and a ton of formula for people in need to give back as thanks. So this is the beginning, guys, of compelling and demanding and commanding your life a shift. You might have a whole different epiphany moment, but what's your epiphany moment? We went from making around $6,000 a month to $0 real quick. We had no savings, but we said, fuck it, and began this journey to be happy the right way. Through pain and suffering, we found peace and surrender. We started giving up all our baggage, our extra clothes, our extra emotions. When I was saying declutter, minimalize, stop hoarding, build some feng shui. Okay, we went hungry, we sacrificed because I started to research. I told you guys, start to research, understand about health, intermittent fasting, genetically modified foods, carcinogenics, what you're eating, labeling, packaging, marketing, the way society is. Just do research, okay? I never felt more peace in our lives from going from 6,000 to barely anything. This made me realize the secret. It's our guided intelligence that we were born with, and I show you how to start listening to it. We start to feel abundance in its essence, peace, joy, prosperity in the depths of lack. If you can reach your highest potential in mind, body, and spirit, that was the awakening we needed. Now today we attract our peace, our love, our brilliance, our financial freedom, because when you can see it in your mind, you can achieve it in reality. And this is what I will promise to you. This story is one of many I have to share with you. This was the day I decided to say, fuck it. Now, I hope you understand that it begins with a moment. You have to sit in your life and realize and figure out what is your guys' epiphany moment. I was chasing for quotas and targets and thinking I was so positive, go lucky, and then I realized, and this was so weird, that I was becoming depressed. I started to lose my passion making that kind of money. Most people would be so thinking, wow, right now, if I told most people, they'd be like, I could use that kind of money. Trust me when I say this. If you can't fix your mindset now, that money is not going to change you. Okay. Manifesto. For me, I believe in respect for ourselves and for others, and that we should not tolerate any bullshit from anybody. I value speaking up and sharing your ideas with the world and never keeping the truth from others. Say it as you feel it and mean what you say. I believe in working smarter, not harder. If you can find a way to be creative to get the job done or task, then I believe anything is possible, right? I am open to everything and attached to nothing. It's your belief. I believe if I'm not working for someone else, I should be investing in myself. Motivate and drive instead of driving for other people's missions. We want to create an atmosphere of love and joy. I have a lot here, guys. This can go on forever. I hope you catch my drift. You want everyone to act as a leader who has no title. You want the world to act like the best version of themselves at all times. If you feel down, there's a solution for that. What do you have? Do you have a facility? Do you start growing? Do you have a farm and you're growing fruits and vegetables for people? What is your mission? What's your manifesto? I have a lot more here about science and technology and, vivid vision. How do you see the world? Do you see the world of lack? Or do you see the world of advanced, mindful, intelligent people? Do you see the world of humble people? Do you believe that, did you ever work in customer service and you hated the fact that, people are working in roles and they're not even the right fit? How many times do you go to a department store and you look at people depressed, acting like, oh, I'm busy, I don't work in this aisle. I'm off, I got 5 minutes, sorry. Doesn't that bother you? Like, that there's people, so change the way you look at things and the things you look at change. So I shifted my mindset around that. I wanted to see people putting customer service first. So everywhere I went, I believed it, I saw it, I wrote it down. And everywhere I would go, everyone came to me trying to help me. I would ask for a favor, but you got to change your attitude, change your feelings towards life. You will get what you attract. Okay? I have a ton. I'm just skipping all this, and now, what's your why, guys? What's your why? Why are you doing what you're doing right now? Whatever you're doing. It doesn't have to be what someone else is doing or what I'm doing or why are you, what's your why? What's your why? Is it because when you were growing up, you were excited about the future and something hindered that? Your family, your parents, something tragic happened in your life? Write down everything. I usually don't talk much about this, but it is so important. I always say, I'm the only one in the class, or I'm the only one in a training room or a convention without a notepad and a pen and paper, because everything is here. And I was always the top performer I was always the number one in Canada in my company, in all the companies I work for. Why? Something. What's your why? What's that something in you? But I eventually jotted it down. Get it down. Write down everything that you believe in, that you want to change, that you want to shift about your mindset, about the world, about like-minded, powerful people who have the strength and courage like me can work together and make the world a better place for future and present generations to live. Do you believe that you can quantify your experience in life? We don't have to die to realize anything. We don't need to encounter trauma or pain and suffering. We can teach, communicate, and express knowledge with. I wrote this years ago. I'm not yelling. If anyone, I'm sorry. I'm not mad. I'm not raising my voice. This is called motivational speaking.
That helps me, Malcolm. That really does. So the manifesto is kind of built around what it is that you want. Your why, your purpose is what you're saying. So that's good.
Does that really help?
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Okay, good. I'm glad. And I really hope it helps some other people here or anyone who's going to have the opportunity to look at this. Because most of the time, some people like myself have been living mindlessly. And if you are a leader or whatever you are in the world, we can always relearn and learn new techniques, can't we? Always be open to learning, always be a student of life. Don't think you know everything. If you think you're the smartest person in the room, why are you in the room in the first place? So, be aware of who we really are throughout the day. Have this deep connection when you do all of these exercises. When you do everything from day 1 through day 2, through the day 3. And when day 4 comes, you're still doing what you started from day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Continuously creating a habitual ritual, a new pattern, a new cycle. You don't skip and get comfortable and you just, oh, I'm still doing this. Oh, once in a while I do my mirror talk, or I still do. It's not my mirror talk. It's your mirror talk. I didn't do it for myself. I did it so you guys can understand you could do it for yourself. When you look at even your reflection and your awareness is aware, you know, when you're in your car or you're walking in a restaurant or at the mall, and you know you're walking, and then all of a sudden, if you know everything we've gone through in the past 4 days and you see your reflection, don't just dismiss it. Don't dismiss it if you're with your boyfriend, girlfriend, friends, buddies, acquaintances, whoever you're with. Be like, oh, and have that look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Being mindful, okay, when you're around others. Make sure you're mindful when you're around others as well. Pick and choose your battles. You know, when you're at a party, a gathering, having some wine, some drinks, wherever you are. These are all of the things that I do to change. And it depends on how badly you need to change or want to change. Because I know when that day is up, I know from experience when your day comes, when the numbers are up, you're going to start contemplating then. You're going to start begging, wishing, and hoping then. You're going to start looking back at the years or yesterday or those fights or arguments or all the things you didn't do. So I know sometimes in people's mind they're like, what is this guy talking? He's trying to tell me everything, teaching all this. Yes, I'm trying to do that for you guys. Because your spirit is going to remind you when we die. So I came back and I did it for myself. And I realized that I got a whisper when I asked God, how may I serve people? How may I serve? How can I be of a service? How can I contribute to my higher self? We must admit to ourselves, accept to ourselves, and realize that you are aware of the direction of your life. Then, I hope somebody's writing this. Love who you are, love that you are source, admire yourself then. Only after you seek out and fix the fraudulence, right? And who you're able to become. Love, admire yourself and who you're able to become. Manifest love, acceptance, abundance, health throughout the day. Now we're getting to the practice of the evening rituals. My evening rituals were so bad. I used to freaking think of thoughts all night long. I used to browse and just drain my head and my mind and body and spirit and think of outcomes. Think of outcomes. Oh my gosh, that's the worst thing. Thinking of outcomes. Already, you thought of the outcome. It has not even happened. You brought the thought into your head and you are imagining what's going to happen. Okay. And then you come to the outcome. Oh gosh, shoot, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why did I come up with the outcome? What's going to happen at work tomorrow? Okay, there's this. And then you think of the outcome. Oh no, why did you do that? Oh man, right? I used to do that all the time. And that caused me to go backwards a lot. Junk food, pop and sugars and fast food, and my mind would feel comfortable. It's okay, just let's go get that mixed sandwich or whatever it's called. It's been several years since I've eaten that kind of stuff, but I think it was called breakfast sandwich. Yeah. And I would love those $2 breakfast sandwiches. I would get like three of them and like hash browns, and I felt comfortable. And I wasn't doing myself a service. So that's what happens. Don't come up with the end result in your mind. You must let it go at night. You must surrender. You must compel your mind to detach with a trust and a knowing. When you detach with a trust and a knowing, then you can rest in ease and peace. With the binaural beats, the frequencies while you're sleeping, the direction and the intention. I wanted to get this message across, so I noted down so I can do you guys a true service. Something for sure that I'm gonna give to you is the actual steps, what you gotta do with your mental clarity. Take it upon yourself to send love and forgiveness out of your mind to whoever deserves it or doesn't deserve it. Your mind and your heart. Send that forgiveness and that love from your mind and your heart. When you have a heart and mind coherence, that is superpower. When your heart and mind are released together and synchronizing together, Dr. Joe Dispenza speaks beautifully on this. He doesn't say this part though. Maybe he does. I haven't taken the seminar. Send this part. I love him, by the way. Send that signal to whoever deserves it or whoever does not deserve it. When I did this practice years ago, my ego came up, my pride came up. I'm like, fuck. Man, he did this to me. What? And I realized I don't need to go and talk, and just because I forgive him doesn't mean now I'm okay with him. Like I'm gonna go and no, they still did what they did. You're just clearing out in your mind in a vision. So yes, guys, please understand that you can do it just in your mind and your vision. Okay, whether they deserve it or not, don't let your ego come up. Just do it for your peace and for yourself to let go of all the chips. Before I go to the next slide, do you have any questions for the people? You're doing this for the people, so if you have questions or thoughts or what people might be understanding, not understanding, feel free to challenge me, contradict me, ask me how, what, where, when, why.
Malcolm, I have another question if you don't mind. And I think I understood, but I just want to make sure that I do. You said something along that you can detach when you know what the knowing is that you are, that you can release. And then you went into, sending love, I guess, to people who you think may deserve it or doesn't deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
Were you referring to being able to release it because you know that you're a living spirit? I mean, is that the causality of it?
No, not necessarily. That's great for you to understand and articulate, but I did this for my heart. I did this for my mind. I did this for my inner peace. Yes, and I did it for my inner being. But all in all, I did it for my inner child. I did it for that 18-year-old. I did it for that 5-year-old that encountered that bully teacher. I did it for that 18-year-old that encountered that nasty situation that I mentioned a couple days ago. I did it for the experience I had with my mother or my father. Any anger, aggression, toxicity, any feeling like you're living in a prison or it's rules and regulations, I don't know, based on how you grew up as a child, being yelled at, condemned, bullied. I did it for those feelings. That's why I did it. I did it just to release it for myself. And you know what? Eventually, I did it for them. I truly, eventually, after doing it so many times, I really got to a point where I'm like, you know what? There's going to be no sting present if I see him driving by. I can just walk and drive and just have no bad feelings. I'm at that point now. I know a lot of people, it's going to take the process and continuously doing this for yourself to get to a point where your worst enemy can be in the same room with you and you can stand there and be emotionally strong.
And the motivation for this came from the fact that when you passed and you were on the other side, you realized that when you were in your soul body, some of the
Yeah.
disdainment and the stains that you had that you'd carried with you.
Oh, yes. When I connected to source, so my spirit left my body, and when I connected to source, my life flashed before my eyes, and I realized that I'm a spiritual being. I realized that I'm not this mind or body and all the things that happen on earth, right? So when I came back, I missed who I essentially was, who I essentially am, because it's in me. My spirit came back in me. And I realized that I got to have some inner peace. That's the inner spirit. It's the inner peace because it's pure compassion, pure peace and harmony, joy and love. That's your spirit. That's the essence of the universe. And I knew I had to do it. I knew I had to do it. I had to take it upon myself, take ownership and accountability to do all of this. So, yes, absolutely, I did it because I had that realization and I knew that I had to do something.
Thank you, Malcolm.
You're welcome. Now, we have plenty of time, so we're going to do a back and forth, Kyle, or I have a lot of information. If you want to go into something today we're basically tying everything together. We're tying everything together. And I want you guys to start to enjoy the beginning of a new way of living your life. I want you to feel and enjoy surrendering. I want you to prepare for the evenings better, prepare for the mornings better. And if anyone wants to reiterate, just leave us a message while we're still here on the Telegram and on online on Zoom here. And we will give you steps. Ask us what you need, and we got your back. I got your back.
I I appreciate it. I'm going to jump in if no one else is going to jump in because I,
Sure.
I've
I
been
have,
doing.
Somebody else there?
yeah, me, Rose. Hi.
Oh, hey, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Hi.
whoever, yeah.
So I have a question. If you only think of your inner self as your future self right now, and you have never repaired the inner child, even if it's been forgotten or unforgiven, okay, is it necessary to go back if it's not going to change the present emotionally?
Absolutely 100% a must. I thought I can just make it without doing the inner work. So I've gone through the test. I've gone through the test of time, and this is a great question by far. A great question because I experimented every little thing. I tested it. I tried methods. I tried what worked, what didn't work, and then what I had to do, what I didn't do. I went back and forth for years. I've been doing this over 10 years. Now, I got so far thinking I'm getting ahead, I'm manifesting, I did this, I did that, I paid off my debt. I paid off my debt. I started manifesting things. I started to attract, for example, I was dealing with a 12-year court case. 12-year court case. And that court case was pretty deep. I'm talking, I don't know if you can see both my hands, but stack, pile stack like this. And I used to go and dwell on, even though I was manifesting things, right? But you also, what you're dealing with manifests as well. So I would go home, I'm like, man, I wish I don't get a mail, or she doesn't ask me for that $10,000, or I hope I get that this, and we're sending signals all the time. So be conscious, aware of the thoughts and the signals you're sending, and the thought and feelings you're having, and what you want and don't want. So long and behold, I would be on the bus coming home from college. I was 23 years old at that time. I put myself back in school to do upgrading and stuff because I didn't want my older son to grow up to be smarter than me. So I felt like I need to do myself some justice to be on par with a son that could become a teenager, right? So, so meanwhile, I'm going 12-year court case. I come home on this bus, and at that time, I'm just dating and hanging out, going to college, and I'm thinking these thoughts. And I go to the mailbox, and right before I opened the mail, I thought about what I didn't want, and I opened it up. It was exactly what I visualized, what I didn't want. It was the money she expected. It was exactly the court case I didn't want to deal with, the hearing and the loss I was gonna get, and I was not gonna be able to see my son. I lost all the restrictions and all that, and I was like, I took my awareness because I was manifesting those times, right? It was after my car accident. I knew my awareness, and I took my awareness out of my emotion, and I thought about it. I'm like, huh, shoot, I just did that. I just created that. So what happened was I focused for several weeks, and I recycled and I changed and I shifted the emotion and the energy and everything. And I did that. There's a technique for all of that. And a few weeks later, I come home. Obviously, we had a couple of hearings, court cases. I showed my presence. I said I was in the hospital. I wasn't working. I was, I showed I'm abundant, I'm peaceful now, I'm harmonious, I surrendered, I'm love. I've gone to these courses, parenting after separation. I've taken the counseling, I've taken the anger management. I'm doing so much. I was in the hospital, I'm in a wheelchair, I'm in crutches, I'm going to the insurance company, I'm surviving off this money from the insurance for so many years, for 3 years. And I was manifesting. The judge did his hearing thing. He made my statement down to 0. But the best part was when I go home a few weeks later, I opened up the mail and I was able to grant access back to visitation rights. And I shifted the whole reality. I shifted the whole what I didn't want to back to I know how to control my life and the outputs. So what I'm trying to say, Rose, is subconsciously we're ingrained with our subconscious thoughts. So as we're manifesting, moving forward in life, that inner scarcity, that inner feelings, it's still gonna hinder your outcomes in life. So yes, the answer is you have to fix those, whether the inner child is 2 years ago, last year, right now. If you're going through something right now, there's exercises and techniques that I teach to do, and how to do this, to break it down, the steps, the PDFs. I have it all. So I hope that answered or gave you clarity and understanding. But if you want to go deeper, have another question or a follow-up question, unless that just answers your question, let me know.
Yeah, I have a follow-up question. So does your future self has to relate to your inner child? And are we talking about two spirits or two feelings or two personalities, or
Right.
I'm not sure if I understand it.
Yes, I do understand.
I
I
don't.
understand this very well. This is exactly, your spirit can be tainted. Your spirit, in any shape, way, or form, in any life form, in any quantum realm, can be tainted. If it's stuck in a 5-year-old vision, it's tainted and stuck in that unless you do the work as a spiritual being right now in reality and fix and release that. You can connect your past self with your current self to your future self, and there's a strategic step. So the answer again is yes.
Okay, thank you.
I wanna feed off of that one too. Thank you, Rose. By the way, that was kind of where I was heading anyway. So what you're saying is that everything that's happened to me in this lifetime now, unless I address it, it is what's going to be manifesting what's going on. So
Reincarnating, yes.
over and over and over.
Yes.
So if I'm able to release it and do it real and not be fake about it, not be fraudulent about it, but really release it, then that frees that frees
You've,
up
he-
my
you've
soul to.
healed that soul purpose. You've healed that soul purpose. We come back in lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. We're infinite beings. So you've healed that soul purpose for that purpose. So every area, everything that you need to do, you need to heal that soul purpose. Otherwise, that's still inside. You need to come back as something else to experience it in another shape, way, or form. Maybe you have to relive it in another lifestyle, in another way to learn and surrender. But we're on a mission, right? And if you can understand your awareness enough to be like, okay, look, I am the awareness. Okay, this is how I talk. I'm going to change everything how I talk. This is how I eat. This is how I frown. This is how I judge. This is how I feel. This is how I think. This is how I react. Right? Everything I'm not forcing you guys to do this, but I'm not you, you're not me. But listen, we're all connected. We're all source. So I'm still gonna say this because I'm doing it, and it's not my right to be like, I'm doing it, so you gotta do it. But if you resonate with me, please compel yourself to change everything about yourself.
That's a real oh crap moment. If you think about, holy crap. So things that I might be ignoring that's happened to me in the past, if I continue to ignore them, there's the real, not a possibility. What you're saying is it will continue to manifest, and I'll have to keep dealing with it until I
Yes.
do deal with it.
Absa
Really?
Absolutely.
So there's no freebie. There's no, what do they call that in golf when you screw up a hit? There's no mulligan. I can't just sit there and go, that one I can't deal with right now. So can we just ignore that whole thing? You're saying,
No.
You're saying you got to deal with it,
The
or it's
test
just
is
going
going
to
to
keep
come
coming back.
again. The test is going to come. I've had tests on different categories and topics about over 100 times because I was a hard, thick skull, thick head, thick skin, thick. I had chips on. You know how people say you're walking around with a chip on your shoulder? I'm telling you that I had 10 chips on this shoulder. When I released a chip thinking it was just one part of anger, I had over 20 parts of anger, 20 chips just on anger. I'm not talking about jealousy. I'm not talking about oh man. Do you get what I'm saying? Holy. So I, not one shoulder, then I had another shoulder. Then I had something in my right brain and my left brain, and then I had something in my back and neck, and you wonder why your chakras aren't aligned and your back is messed up and you have headaches and migraines and blood clots and pain, and you wonder why things are manifesting in your body and disease, discomfort, inflammation happens.
All right, I gotta.
Why why
I got.
people can't lose weight? Why I couldn't lose weight for so many years? Why did I apply for this network marketing company, this one, four, five, six different ones? Invested thousands and thousands of dollars thinking this product, that product, this product, that product. Nothing helped me except for when I did this work.
Crap. I mean, that really is an oh crap moment, and I don't usually say things like that. Well, maybe I do every once in a while, but you know, so a lot of my let's see how to put this. A lot of the character of who I am today is a result of, maybe abuses or something that's in the past. And so, I might think today that I've resolved that, but I know, if I'm going to be real and I'm doing my mirror talk, I know there's still a lot of scars inside, a lot of hurts and pains. And maybe it was me wanting to be a victim. I don't know. But I don't know why all those things are still in there. But what you're telling me is if I can't release those, I'm going to continue to experience that until I release it.
Then you'll become the better version of yourself right now and what you're creating in the business you're in now. Then you'll be the best all-star. Then you'll become what you want to become. So when I said that, it's not that I couldn't have become better. It's just I had to do this process so I could become this this instructor. So then now if I go back, if I want to, I can become number one in a week or in a month. I built a team of over 500 people in Alberta, in my city, in the province here. Oh my gosh. In 1 month. In 1 month. But it was not my sole purpose. It was not my mission in life. It was something wasn't aligning, but I know what I could do. So if I can go, not that I need to, but the message is not you're doing the wrong thing. The message is not you're not good enough, or you're not the best, or you're not in the right whatever, whatever. That's not the message. The message is, let me give you this. Let me give you a piece of this. You do this work, then you could be a better version of yourself.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so most of us believe that the way to heal our inner self is just forgiveness. And there it looks like it's something bigger than that. What about if we can forgive some things from the past, we don't want to come back to it because they still it still hurt, or it still can be unfold. But how would you tell, or what is the technique that you need to use in order for you to release those things from the past without needing an apology or forgiveness from the other person?
Okay, you know that it's coming up in the seven truths.
Wow.
But
Sorry.
yeah, you know that these are coming up for everybody. But let me share something with you here. I had a client that wanted to manifest, I think, a $400,000 contract. It was already in the works, and they also wanted to attract a 90-minute consultation call for $9,000, and they also wanted to attract all of these things. But I was like, okay, I could do that for you. That's easy. Because the secret to the secret's right here. The doors are right there. I'll teach you how to open it. And she was kind of blind. She couldn't see it. And I just forced it and taught her, did the meditations. And then something came up. Some fraudulence came up. I found out something deeper. I found out about her children. I found out about, sorry, I don't know if it was a guy or a girl or whoever, but it was somebody, it was a person. And the person, my client, I found out about the kids, I found out about the current relationship status, and I found out about the ex relationship status and the jealousy that was going on there because of the reflection back on her own life that she was not receiving and she didn't have. So it was a bit of tainted. And when I focused on that on her, instead of the money, instead of teaching her how to manifest and all that, I did that after. I went backwards and I did something where I called out the fraudulence, and I said to the person, you can't live your life directing your life the way you want, dismissing what you don't want to address, thinking you're going to get further, you're going to have a fraudulent relationship if you don't tell the truth about this or you don't uncover this. And she said, why can't I? She said the same thing. Why can't I? Grown person, grown man or woman, a person, why can't I? I can direct my life. I can do this. I could be the most successful person, leader in the world. And I said, no, you can't. And they were like, what do you, like, hard to swallow when I said that. And I said, you have to do this today. This is your homework. Go and tell this person this, and do this with that person. Gave a specific assignment. I got The day before, I had the overwhelming feeling, and I asked the day of the coaching, "What's that overwhelming feeling?" Then all this came up, right? And then I addressed it, and then we did all that. The next day comes around of our next session. She had the biggest feeling release on her face and said, "I did that, and you know what? My deal just went through as well, and I just booked a 90-minute session, and they paid me $9,000. And the my partner that you told me to do that didn't leave me. Didn't fear that the breakup didn't." He consoled me and said, "I still love you. I'm still with you," and that healed her. That's a secret I'll share with you.
What do you do in the situation
Hold
where
on, hold on. I want to see her face. Rose, that's the secret I want to share with you.
O- Okay, what about if you don't want to confront but do you have to, or is it necessary to confront personally? Can you do it
Yes.
on your own?
I'm sorry. Yes, it is. Some things you have to do, some things you don't have to do. It depends what it is. You have to book a call with me.
Okay.
Okay.
okay, here's another old crap moment. Oh, so so if wow, so wow, Malcolm. So wow. So even okay, so let me go back to the what I was going to ask. So let's say that I'm in a relationship with someone, and that relationship is a fraudulent relationship, or I'm being stalked or chased, or something I can't really control because it's involving somebody else. But I can't be honest with that person for whatever selfish reasons I may have and not be that honest. So I don't want to approach things. One of my things in life, if you will, is I hate conflict. So if I can avoid conflict, I'll take the punishment, if you will, of whatever it is that's going on, whether I think it's punishment or whether it's not. I mean, I really don't know. But I'll just be quiet because I don't want the confrontation. I may present a false white lie because I don't want to deal with the confrontation. So you're saying even if I'm protecting myself like that to avoid the confrontation, I'm not really getting away with it?
Listen, that there's two strategic steps in that. You are getting further away from your inner being, your inner self. You're becoming fraudulent, and you're also tainting yourself for who you really are. You're avoiding. That's avoidance. Secondly, it's affecting your manifest because you didn't release the truth and the fraudulence, and you're not living your true authentic self. So both are wrong. You have to. You're not a real I'm not directing this to you. Sorry for saying it like that. Because I've said it to myself. I've looked at myself in the mirror and said, "You're not a real person. Who the heck are you? You're a lie." And then I had to do the work in two different scenarios. Both that you're saying, I had to do the work both. We want to escape, right? We want that escape route. We want to opt out. So many people want to opt out. And then you say, "Oh, why did you say this?" "Oh, I'm not going to do that. I didn't mean it." But you're I know you guys. I know you guys understand what I'm saying. I don't have to say it to really. I'm not the crucifier. I'm not the condemner. I'm just please trying to guide. I'm just trying to guide. That's it. But so don't allow me to come across like I'm this like something, and I'm just trying to say that I've gone through what you're talking about. I've done what you've tried to do and avoid. I've been the avoider, and I've done it. And if I did it wrong, I knew what I did wrong. I've been at this for 10 years. I've been doing this for 10 years.
The
I can
mess-
talk talk about black magic. I can talk about cursing. I could talk about demons. I could talk about angels. I could talk about dark energy, manipulation, positive persuasion. There's so much to this, and don't wrap your head around it and be like, "Oh my god." It's simple. Just come to the 7 truths and please follow these steps and notice, be the noticer, be the observer, and do the work. And if you need to book a call, book a call. If you need to send an email to the email, we have a support team that will support and get back to you. We have a group here. We have a support here. Okay, so it's okay. All inquiries are going to be dealt with. You guys are going to be dealt. It's all going to be fixed. Just you have to be willing to face it, willing to face the truth, willing to confront it, and not avoid it. Don't avoid it, because you're going to face it when you die. What are you going to say to your spirit when you die? What is your spirit going to say to Source when you die? What are you going to do when you die? Right now, you can't even swallow me telling you what to do. Can you imagine when you die? The last words you're going to say, the last breath you're going to say?
That's
Okay.
a good message.
I have a question. Um, so would it help, no matter what the outcome of of going back and repair and release whatever is from the past? Would it help either way? Would it help, no matter what, confronting this past, so confronting this, um these things, no matter the outcome? What about if the outcome is negative or positive?
Okay,
How,
so you can recreate the vision positively. You could do that. um, Sometimes you don't have to enter someone's life to fix something, but there's a way to do it. But I know that will help you if you really want to know, like, what you're trying to avoid to do, because you there's no chance in hell to repair or fix it. I understand that. I understand that. So it just depends. We gotta get into this, because if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know the process and the techniques of what you're doing and how you're doing it and how you're going about it. That's what we need to discuss, right? Maybe you need you need opinion, you need suggestions, you need to talk it out, figure it out, right? Sometimes people think they'll take something. I used to do this all the time for years. I used to think, I'm taking this away, and I think I could figure it out, or I don't need to go for this. I don't. Then what happened? In 2010, I died, and I realized everything, figured it all out, like, through death, and then I'm doing it now the right way.
thank you.
It's unfortunate that I mean, it's fortunate. It was the blessing. It was the best bang of my life. I always say that. Thank you, God.
That's powerful.
Right. So, how many minutes do we have left?
It's whenever tonight, Malcolm. It's whenever you want to
Oh,
wrap it
beautiful.
up.
Okay, perfect. So, unless you guys have more, feel free. Bring up other topics, but it seems like we want to dive into certain areas that we have to address that, elsewhere, because then we have to dive deep into your personal stuff, right? So, but if you guys want to touch other areas, but I hope we got this. I hope you guys understand that everything. Kyle, please reiterate the way I explained how one thing leads to the second thing leads to the third thing, but then when you get to the third, fourth thing, you need the to keep doing the first thing, the second thing, the third thing, the fourth thing, the fifth thing.
Yeah.
Everything has to be tied together. You want to articulate that properly for everybody to understand that this is a must.
Yeah. It's you have told me a million times, you've got to keep practicing it, because if you don't practice it and you don't do it, through the sequence of it, you're going to lose it and you're going to fall backwards, and you just can't jump into the middle of it.
Give
So,
examples. Can you give a proof of an
sure, I can.
example
Yeah.
of what happened? Basically, we need to address something because uh, with the awareness and the emotion and making decisions based off the emotion, that comes up. And after what, how many weeks is because all of the things have to be, we gotta express everything.
Are you
Um,
are you referring to the struggles that I've had with sympathy and that type of thing? Is that what you were you going with?
that's an example of your personal example, but I'm just giving one example of many examples. I can have an example, someone else can have their own example, but it's like we gotta address, we gotta learn, we gotta keep learning. I think in life, I think we all gotta be learners, good students of life, and just keep learning everything we can.
Yeah, you know, I, I'm not exactly sure where you'd like to go with it, but I've got a little drum that's going on in my head that I want to speak to, on that, and hopefully this is what you're after. But the importance, the importance to keep it in focus, of what it is that I am, right? A soul inside of a living body, so that when I'm going through these steps and these practices every single time, the morning ritual, the daytime rituals, the evening rituals, making sure that I'm commanding and receiving, not frivolously, not but in a sincere way, being honest with myself is important, because if I don't do that, then I'm not going to be able to build, and I'm not going to be able to involve, I'm not going to be able to get stronger. And some of the things that you mentioned tonight, where I was.
Not necessarily. I'm so sorry to cut you off, but I had to stop you there because
Sure.
you people build all the time, people grow all the time. What I'm saying is you will be missing an area that you thought you, because you're building, your emotional intelligence maybe is not building. You're building in other areas, but you think everything's building, so I don't need to address my emotional intelligence. Then, oh, so I feel this empathy is happening, this sympathy, or this something emotion is happening, and you just address it the same way because you thought you'd grown so much, so you address it the same way. You haven't grown your emotional intelligence, so you haven't used it differently. Make sense?
Oh yeah, yeah, that definitely does make sense. That's something that happened with me today, which I was sharing with you earlier. Which kind of a stunner. And to be honest with you, when you were talking about some of the things you've talked about tonight, I think some of my old crap moments were like, that's why I'm not getting past that. Because I'm not really addressing. There are some things that I'm avoiding them.
I'm getting an intuition to say something.
Sure, go
There's
for it.
people in the world that think that they can take a teaching and reteach it. But if you don't even know what you're doing and how you're doing it, fulfilling your life the right way, you're really doing it authentically. Because there's people like that all the time in the world that think that they take something away and they think they got it. You gotta go back. You gotta still learn. You still gotta learn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that totally. Yeah, I've done a reset with some of the things that you've been teaching me with, a couple of times. Tonight I'm wanting to do another reset, because, it's dawning on me that I've got something going on that I need to figure out what that is so that I can release it. Because it's, I don't want to, To use your words, I don't want that to be stained. I'm getting tired of this crap. I don't want to have to, come back and revisit this in another damn life form or some other kind of thing. It's not a pleasant type of experience.
Or
But
maybe you're just not, you're gonna live with that as a spirit, and it's
I
just
don't
gonna
want
be
to.
there.
Yeah, that's not knowing you and knowing what you're expressing and sharing with me. I absolutely do not want to do that. So I have to man up and figure out what it is, and then I need to go and address it. And if I do address it, then I guess, okay, here's something I never thought about. If I do address it, I wonder what it is that I'm going to get back as a reward for it. I guess that's going to be the peace and the freedom of finally getting away from it.
You don't even know what's in store for you. You don't, you can't comprehend it. What can come out of it, right? It could be something only you have to discover. You got to receive it. It's your own divineness, your own birthright to go through that experience. But it's not just I released it and okay, I don't have to ever deal with this. Good, congratulations, I did good. Could give me a pat on the back. Something good can come out of it. Something more. Maybe you never know. You never know what you're gonna get.
That's cool in its own right too, isn't it?
What about if those persons you need to forgive are actually not alive anymore?
Right. That's a that's a that's a good one. I have personally had to go into some of my thought forms. For example, I have a grandfather that passed, a cousin that passed, and I kept having these weird nightmares and these weird dreams, and I didn't know how to deal with it and how to address it. And it took a span of months, but a strategic step by step, because I kept having to enter that dream and figure out my awareness and connect as my awareness and try not to be just in the dream and be aware of the awareness while I was in the dream aware. And um, it was a process, but now I know how to do it. So, and they were dead. So yeah, you still might have to fix stuff, because I was getting messages, I was getting these dreams, I was, and I needed to know what it was. What was I doing wrong? What is it that my grandfather was trying to tell me? Why is he frowning upon me? Why doesn't he look at me? Why is he looking at the ground? Why is he disappointed in me? Why? What is it? Eh, you know, Even I think with Kyle, I did a coaching session where he was having this, well, not many, I think there was just one dream, but I've had different dreams that I had to go into. So do you want to unfold that a little bit more with me, Rose?
Um, I mean, like sharing actually what happened. I mean, like I
No,
never.
like if that relates, are you talking about like kind of if somebody died in your
Yeah,
family
yeah,
or something like
yeah.
that?
Yeah, so most of the stuff that happened to me when I was young, and a little bit of the stuff that I remember because I was a drug addict, so I didn't, so I can recall everything. But the things that did happen to my life, they kind of like marked my life. Like my grandfather molested me, but I was like 6, 7. I couldn't remember. I just know that I was too little.
You got to heal it, and you can go
Yeah.
back. You can, and you should. And because I know other women, you're not the only one that I've encountered, or I know men, women, people around the world that have these experiences. Not to dismiss your credibility of it and the importance of it, but the thing is they grow up and they have uh, you know, I don't know what you have on that, right? But you can get messages. You can clear something. You can get some clarity. You can get some understanding. You can emotionally kind of fix it. You can speak. You can have conversations. The stuff that I'm talking about is not normal day to day people talking talks. This is spiritual, man. Woman, Rose. This is spiritual stuff. This is different methods and exercises, right?
Yeah, I just for me, because I never thought about having to clean my spirit this way in order for me to go to a higher frequency or to get into where I want to go,
That's
or
interesting.
is how I reflect myself to others, because I'm trying to help other people on a business coaching, not life coaching. So for me, I have left my past and have never thought about my past
Affecting your
since
business.
since I changed my life, because I changed my life in some way that, I changed the outcome. All those things, I make myself better. I
Right.
didn't. I have never thought for years that because I have never go back to it
But
at
let me
all.
ask you this. You're talking about it right now. It's in you. You feel it. You have the thoughts, have the feelings. So these are things that will come up, and you're going to say, I could have, I should have, I would have. Oh, I didn't. I got this far in success, but then it's going to be in you that I could have, I should have, or I would have. So it's coming up now for a reason.
Okay, yeah, because I feel it too when I share. We are taught to share our story, and some stories, I have had sentiment or feeling, or I cried, or there might be something open. Does that mean there is something there still needs to be worked on when you feel when you're talking about your past?
Yes. You got to. Why not? Why not? I mean, unless you're okay with your life's direction and okay with leaving this life, this planet, and knowing that you're in the knowing, your awareness knows you didn't address it because you dismissed it, and you think you're financially free, you're successful, you're a business coach, you're inspiring everyone, but you left all that stuff that's still inside of you behind. But it's still inside of you. It's not really behind. It's not behind you. It's really in you.
Okay, I get it. So it has to be, everything has to be cleared up, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had the same question, Malcolm. So I guess that's probably a very similar and familiar question you hear quite often is, you know, how do you know if you've got something that's bothering you, and I guess, or a stain to your soul, and what you're saying is if you're thinking it, if you're experiencing it, it's a stain, and so you need to address it. Would that be a
I,
fair statement?
I'm yeah, I'm proud of the fact that I can do this for you guys now. Can you imagine? I had to go through the experiences after death and realize it after what I need to fix. But here I am telling you guys, and you guys have the opportunity to fix it now, not have to wait another day or week or year, right? Isn't it a blessing, to know that,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying yes, might as well do it. Might as well do it. It's in the open right now. It's here. It's now, and you guys we're talking about it now. We're connecting now. So yes, don't carry on and dismiss your life anymore. That's the whole concept of this program. Stop dismissing yourself. Face the fraudulence. When you admit, you gotta accept. There's the difference. I have it on my YouTube channel. Admittance and acceptance. What's the difference? People don't know the difference between admittance and acceptance. Anyone can admit, right? Give that white lie, like you said, yeah, yeah, yeah. But you don't want to go into the detail, right? So you're not accepting. Anyone could admit, but you're not really accepting it. And you're not really surrendering. and you're not really doing everything that's in the finding your authentic self blueprint and the seven truths blueprint.
Malcolm, as always, you never disappoint, do you?
I I want to continue doing more, and I'm going to keep, whether people want to think they're good enough or not, or think whatever they want to think. But then when they learn about true judgment and through true condemning, then when they get that clarity, then they can go back into their own life and be like, oh, I've been doing this here, this is happening there, right? So it's okay, it's fine. Let people judge. Let people be people. It's not my job to sit here and be like they're judging me. Let That's what I had to overcome. I had to go through that. There's so many things we have to overcome. So you know what?
Here's an aha.
Disappointment or not, it does, to me it doesn't matter. What matters to me is that I'm gonna keep doing it anyways.
Is sympathy judgment?
Sympathy. Oh, that's a good one. Is sympathy judgment? It's a perception. It's a perception, and I guess perception is all judgment, all ego, right? So, sympathy is placing an emotion on the mind, on the thought, which is just the ego. So it must be.
That was an aha moment for me.
If we can just let it go and detach and surrender and do all the work, excuse me, all the work that we have to do from the beginning, everything that we're talking about right now, like all this stuff that Rose has been, you've been mentioning, we've been mentioning, once we do all this, we're going to come closer and closer and closer and closer to being true, authentic self. Mind, body, spirit connection. And that's what we're all trying to just be. I'm not perfect. Man, if I called my woman up here right now, she would be the first to be like, yeah, that he bugs me still, he's annoying, he does this, and you know, or whatever it is, it's vice versa. But at the same time, it's how quick can you come into your awareness? How quick can you fall down and get back up? How quick can you admit? How quick can you accept? Am I living? How long am I going to be fraudulent? Like, no, it's not me, it's you. How long are we going to live in blame? No, it's them, it's them, it's the world. Oh no, I'm not the victim. You're the victim. Or maybe I'm the victim. But all of this is what I'm talking about. It's part of the nature. We're in this brain, this reptilian brain. We're in the energy field of Earth. We're part of, there's government, society, doctors, lawyers, history, all the paradigms, all the things in the world happening today is happening to us. What do you expect? Stop watching the news, stop reading the magazine. There's work to your life, right? You're here on a mission. You're not here to just mope around and fiddle with your fingers and walk around, and I'm not pointing, I'm saying that's what we all do. I've done it for years. I've done it for years.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Malcolm. It is 10:30.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's time to let you go. I would rather sit here and talk to you for a few hours more, but I'm not going to take up your time like that. We're going to be back tomorrow at the same time. So we'll continue then, shall we?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys very much and have a blessed day. Enjoy the rest of the night. And thank you.
Thank you, Malcolm.
You're welcome.
Well, I'd like to say goodnight to our YouTube listeners and Facebook listeners and our international audience. As I was mentioning earlier, Malcolm never fails to impress. And we're quite pleased that he's been able to give us this opportunity. I encourage you to come back tomorrow. We'll be starting again at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I believe tomorrow there are a few specials that are going to be announced. So I really do encourage you to tune in tomorrow night. And as always, the life coach we all share is Guided Intelligence. And so for Malcolm Nair and myself, Kyle Griffiths, I want to thank everybody for being with us. We have a support available to you. You can email it at Guided Intel Co-op. It's on the screen there. And you can always follow Malcolm on his YouTube channel. His Facebook profile is Malcolm Nair, and his page is Guided_Intelligence. And you can find him on Instagram under Guided Intelligence, and you can find him in LinkedIn as Malcolm Nair. Once again, this is Kyle Griffiths, and I want to bid you a good night and a peaceful evening. Until tomorrow, take care.